Now on Denver 7 News at 7 on Local 3, the new owners of the Broncos lay out their vision for the team today.
Also, some good news for potential home buyers. Your next house might be more attainable than you think. We're breaking down numbers from the latest statewide report.
And a new adventure coming to Pikes Peak. Forget going all the way to the top. This trail will take you around the mountain.
Just hurt your neck looking at the top. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. Elisa joins us, and it's going to be another hot one today, typical for August, I guess.
But, yeah, it is. Yeah. Summer is settling back in after we had some cool, cloudy, very wet weather this past weekend. Now at 7 o'clock, we're looking at a lot of sunshine, and we're already in the 70s. Denver right now 71. Winds are southwest, pretty calm, 5 to about 10 miles per hour, and a nice warm up in store. We're back to near 80 by about 10 o'clock. Typically this time of year, upper 80s, near 90s. We get into August and we're going to be a few degrees above that. In fact, right around 92 to near 95 from Denver north to Fort Collins. Boulder today, a pretty warm 93 and an Evergreen 84. So it's going to be hot. It's going to be dry. We'll see a few thunderstorms pop up in the mountains this afternoon. There's going to be a better chance of getting some wet weather, lightning and thunder out west tomorrow, and I'll show you what that looks like and when we could see more of those storms here in town coming up.
And right now we do have still some heavy traffic in some of those usual spots. A little bit heavier than normal right now on 6th Avenue from a crash that's coming off of Sheridan to go eastbound on 6th Avenue right in here. Take a look from the camera on Air Tracker 7 and you can see most of the crash is being cleaned up right now. There's a tow truck in here hooking up that last of the pickup trucks there, and they are impeding this ramp. So these folks on Sheridan trying to get on eastbound 6th Avenue are jumping over early, so they don't have that time to accelerate to get into the flow of traffic, and so that slows down that right lane. That in turn slows down all the lanes, and you can see from Wadsworth getting on over the drive times, it's a little bit slower than average for us right there. The rest of the drive, pretty typical stuff for us. Getting some heavier traffic here on westbound I-70 through that lowered section with a new problem right in there, and about 25 minutes in from the north side to downtown Denver right now.
Well, it's all quiet out at Empower Field this morning, but the anticipation is building for the start of football season. Saturday is the first preseason game, and the Broncos officially have their new owners today. The Walton Penner Group will introduce themselves to Broncos country at a news conference at the UC Health Training Center. Denver 7's Jessica Crawford joins us live out in front of Empower Field. Some big names in this ownership group, and we've heard about their commitment to winning already. Now fans want to know what's next for the team.
That's right, and winning is not just about dedication, it's also about money, and Rob Walton is ready to put his money where his mouth is when it comes to the team that plays here at Empower Field at Mile High. Just take a look at how he got here to this point. Sources say that Rob Walton was so committed to getting the Broncos that he was prepared to pay $5 billion if necessary. Fellow NFL owners unanimously accepted his $4.65 billion bid yesterday. It's the team's first ownership transfer in 38 years. And there are a lot of important issues to tackle here, from negotiating a new contract with Russell Wilson to deciding whether or not to build a new stadium. But they say that talks about the stadium are premature.
I'll say that Empire Field at Mile High is a world-class facility. It's hosted, obviously, football games, terrific other sporting events and entertainment events. We've got a good partnership with the Metropolitan Football Stadium District, and fortunately have almost 10 years left on our lease. So we'll evaluate all of our options and really, dig in and understand the situation before making any decision.
The Walton Penner Group knows that it has big shoes to fill, and they had a lot of praise for the late Pat Bowlen. They called owning the Broncos a responsibility and a privilege, calling the team iconic. Most of all, they know that Broncos fans are expecting a lot from the team.
We look forward to continuing to build on that legacy, and as we continue to work with the community as well as within the organization to continue to strengthen what he created.
The ownership group also includes Melody Hobson, CEO of Ariel Investments and chairwoman of the Starbucks board, Condoleezza Rice, the former Secretary of State, and Lewis Hamilton, a 7-time Formula One world champion, and all three are black. Now, diversity is sorely lacking in NFL ownership. That could be something that they discussed today at the 1 o'clock press conference. Both Rice and Hobson will be there, and Denver 7 will be there as well. Live from Empower Field at Mile High, I'm Jessica Crawford, Denver 7.
Yeah, it's a successful bunch, no doubt. Thank you, Jessica. We also heard from head coach Nathaniel Hackett as he learned news of the deal finalizing with the new owners.
I want to say congratulations to the Walton and Penners. I mean, that just absolutely unbelievable. We've got an owner now. Very excited to get to work with them and get going to try to get this team better every day.
So the news conference today with the new owners will be at 1 this afternoon at the UC Health Training Center. Denver 7 Broncos insider Troy Rink will be there, so we will have updates on air online at thedenverchannel.com and on the Denver 7 Plus app.
New this morning, inflation is backing off, but only a little. Prices were up 8.5% in July year over year. That was slightly better than the 9.1 increase in June. We also have some new numbers on Colorado's housing market this morning, and Denver 7's Veronica Acosta has been digging into that report. Veronica, the news is getting better for potential buyers.
It is, but we still see the impacts of the economy every time we go shopping, right? We're paying more at the pump when we fill up on gas. Our bills might be a little more expensive than they used to be, but turns out that economy is also slowing down housing sales that were so hot about this time last year. So this new statewide housing report, it gives us a little bit more insight into what exactly is happening. That report shows sales were down 19% last month. Listings, though, those are up 17%. Both an advantage for buyers. Some good news for those of you who are sellers, though. The report, too, despite there being more homes on the market, says that prices are up 10% from last year. The median sales price, that's now $590,000. And of course, there are changes from city to city. For example, over in Aurora, realtors described that market as fickle, but they said ultimately there are more homes on the market compared to this time last year. In Boulder, you might not be seeing as many of those bidding wars. In Denver County, things also seem to be slowing down a bit there. Realtors say the price at which homes are increasing is decreasing. They did make it clear, though, that doesn't mean we're going to be able to get cheap houses. It just means we get a little bit longer to breathe.
Buyers actually can take a few minutes to breathe, decide if that's the house for them, make a strong and competitive offer without being in a monster frenzy to beat out the other 16 people that are waiting before them.
And some good news from the report as well. If you've ever dreamed of having and buying a house in the mountains, now might be a good time to start looking at places in both Summit and Lake counties. We're in Louisville this morning. I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
All right. Thank you, Veronica. If you own your home, you may have noticed your mortgage payments are also going up, and it's because home insurance rates are up. And of course, that's typically folded into your mortgage payment. So we wanted to know, why is home insurance going up?
In Colorado, we have escalating catastrophes, second in the nation for hail insurance claims, third highest wildfire risk. And then you add to that supply chain and all of those building material costs, the cost for reconstruction, labor shortages. Those are all things that are going to affect what you pay for insurance.
And as much as none of us want to pay more, it is important to have enough coverage on your home. So be sure to talk with your agent about that. There are also discounts available for bundling policies or installing safety features like security cameras.
More school districts are going back to class over the next couple weeks, and ABC's Rena Roy has some ways to save this year as families scramble to finish their back-to-school shopping.
Backpacks, notebooks, pencils, the back-to-school shopping list can really add up at the cash register. But with inflation prices and many stores still facing production issues, Consumer Reports Deals editor Samantha Gordon says there are still back-to-school deals to be had.
We are still seeing some of those residual disruptions that are impacting shipping times and inventory levels, but you can still find savings.
Gordon says you should plan ahead, create a budget, and compare prices online before you shop.
Just knowing what your options are allows you to make much smarter purchasing decisions.
Spread out your shopping by checking stores that aren't major retailers.
When it comes to a budget, choosing the right stores based on how much you'll be able to save can really make a big difference. And don't discredit places like office supply stores and wholesalers.
If you're in the market for electronics, consider buying refurbished products. Look for a certified used model from a reputable seller.
That can be a great way to get a good chunk of savings, and the product should function just as well as something that's brand new out of the box.
And after you've made all your back-to-school purchases, keep an eye out for sales.
If you see a price drop, you may be able to get a partial refund. You just have to reach out to customer service and ask them. You usually have a 2-week window if they have a policy in place. And if they don't, they might be able to work with you. Or you might just be able to return that product and buy it again for that sale price.
Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
A sigh of relief for all of us. Prices are dropping on gas, groceries, and now we're learning about a huge price drop coming for airfare.
And you might have some noisy neighbors moving in soon. The latest proposal that could allow ducks in your backyard.